improvement. Then there is classical conditioning. Most treatments, including vertebroplasty, are delivered in a context of rituals that include social signals, physical cues, and verbal suggestions. Mr. Martin's brain interprets such cues and elicits expectations, memories, and emotions. It releases endorphins and other chemicals that make him feel good and lower his perception of pain. So it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, where the belief that he feels better leads him to feel better. And there is confirmation bias. As soon as Mrs. Martin takes the sugar pill, she thinks she will feel better. Then she focuses only on the things that confirm that she is better. She doesn't realize that she still has trouble doing many other things. While all three ideas probably work together, there is another theory. So-called mirror neurons might also play a role. A new and growing body of evidence points at brain cells that mirror behavior. The cells fire when one acts and when one observes the same action performed by another. As Mrs. Martin talks to the doctor, parts of the doctor's brain will mirror parts of her brain, and part of her brain will mirror his. As a result, the structure of her brain changes, and she feels less pain. The neurophysiologist Giacomo Rizzolatti, who discovered mirror neurons, suggests that this process bypasses consciousness and provides a direct mapping of sensory information onto motor structures.
LinkedIn is the place to be to be. Drive real results for your business with quality leads that convert.
Placebo, a Latin word typically so significant that any new pain medication that seeks Food and Drug Administration approval in the United States needs to show that it works better.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Days to get back organized. Done upgraded. So, I'm back here making another build here on 2K25. It feel good? Feel good. I knew this day would come. I got my little notebook right here. I'm about to build it up. I'm going to get our motivation started. I'm doing on 2K. Instead of having me on the screen, I'm going to have the 2K running on the screen so you can see me playing and all of that stuff. But, let's go. Let's get this motivation.
Let us begin by understanding what a weekend truly is. Society. I tell you now that the weekend is so much more. It is a gift, a precious opportunity to step fully into the person you truly are, unencumbered by the constraints and expectations of your daily routine. The weekend is not a pause in your life's journey, but an acceleration. It is a time when you can focus wholly on your deepest desires, your grandest visions, your most cherished goals. It is a time when you can immerse yourself fully in the feeling of being the person you wish to be, of having the life you wish to have. But how, you may ask, do we maintain our motivation during these precious patches? How do we resist the siren call of idleness or the temptation to fritter away these golden moments? The answer, my dear friends, lies not in resistance or struggle, but in the power of your imagination and the law of assumption. You see, motivation is not something external to you. It is not a force that must be summoned or maintained through sheer willpower. Motivation, in its true sense, is the motivation flows as naturally as to assume the feeling of being the person you wish to be, of having accomplished the goals you wish to achieve. This is not pretense or self-deception. This is the activation of a spiritual law as real and immutable as gravity itself. Let me illustrate this principle with a simple example. Suppose you have a goal to write a book. Many people approach this task with a sense of obligation or struggle. They force themselves to sit at the desk, willing the worst to come, fighting against distraction and procrastination. But I say to you, there is a better way. Instead of seeing your experience the joy of holding your published work in your hands. Hear the words of praise from your readers. Live from this state of accomplishment. When you assume this state, when you live from this end, you will find that sitting down to write is no longer a chore to be endured, but a joy to be embraced. The words will flow effortlessly, for you are not trying to become an author. You are simply allowing the author you already are to express itself. This principle applies to every area of your life, to every goal you wish to achieve, to every state of being you wish to embody. Whether your aim is fitness, financial abundance, loving relationships, or spiritual growth, the key is always like you're saying, live from the end. As you enter your weekend, do not see it as a time to work towards your goal. See it as a time to live from the state of having already achieved them. Feel the satisfaction, the joy,
I like
the
that.
fulfillment of being the person you wish to
That's
be.
good.
For in assuming this state, you align yourself with the creative forces of the universe, and they begin to work tirelessly to bring your assumption into physical reality.
Y'all ain't heard none of the
Now I
what
can
he
hear
said.
some of you thinking, but Neville, what
Y'all
about the
ain't hear
practical
nothing what he
aspects of my
said,
weekend?
man.
What about the chores, the errands, the obligations? To this I say,
Run it
change your
back.
perception. A respite from the demands of the work week. Let us begin by understanding what a weekend truly is. Society has conditioned us to view the weekend as a time of rest, a respite from the demands of the work week. And while there is certainly value in rest and rejuvenation, I tell you now that the weekend is so much more. It is a gift, a precious opportunity to step fully into the person you truly are, unencumbered by the constraints and expectations of your daily routine. The weekend is not a pause in your life's journey, but an acceleration. It is a time when you can focus wholly on your deepest desires, your grandest visions, your most cherished goals. It is a time when you can immerse yourself fully in the feeling of being the person you wish to be, of having the life you wish to have. But how, you may ask, do we maintain our motivation during these precious patches? How do we resist the siren call of idleness or the temptation to fritter away these golden moments? The answer, my dear friends, lies. See, motivation is not something external to you. It is not a force that must be summoned or maintained through sheer willpower. Motivation, in its true sense, is the natural state of a being aligned with its deepest desires. When you are living in complete harmony with your true self, motivation flows as naturally as breath. The key then to staying motivated during the weekend is to live from the ascent, to assume the feeling of being the person you wish to be, of having accomplished the goals you wish to achieve. This is not pretense or self-deception. This is the activation of a spiritual law as real and immutable as gravity itself. Let me illustrate this principle with a simple example. Suppose you have a goal to write a book. Many people approach this task with a sense of obligation or struggle. They force themselves to sit at the desk.
I have 12 emails, 30 messages, and a proposal due by 10. How am I already underwater?
Willing the worst to come, fighting against distraction and procrastination. But I say to you, there is a better way. Instead of seeing yourself as someone trying to write a book, see yourself as an accomplished author. Feel the satisfaction of having completed your masterpiece. Experience the joy of holding your published work in your hands. Hear the words of praise from your readers. Live from this state of accomplishment. When you assume this state, when you live from this end, you will find that sitting down to write is no longer a chore to be endured, but a joy to be embraced. The words will flow effortlessly, for you are not trying to become an author. You are simply allowing the author you already are to express itself. This principle applies to every area of your life, to every goal you wish to achieve, to every state of being you wish to embody. Whether your aim is fitness, financial abundance, loving relationships, or spiritual growth, the key is always the same: live from the end. As you enter your weekend, do not see it as a time to work towards your goals. See it as a time to live from the state of having already achieved them. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the fulfillment of being the person you wish to be. For in assuming this state, you align yourself with the creative forces of the universe, and they begin to work tirelessly to bring your assumption into physical reality. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, what about the practical aspects of my weekend? What about the chores, the errands, the obligations? To this I say, change your perception. See these tasks not as burdens, but as opportunities to express the state of being you have assumed. If you are cleaning home, do not do so with resentment or frustration. Do so with the joy and pride of someone who lives in a beautiful, orderly space. If you are running errands, do so with the efficiency and purpose of someone whose life is in perfect order. In every action, no matter how mundane it may seem, express the state of being you wish to embody. Remember, the outer world is but a reflection of your inner state. As you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, as you live from the end, you will find that your outer circumstances begin to rearrange themselves to match your inner conviction. This is not magic or mysticism. This is the operation of cosmic law. But my dear friends, I must caution you. This is not a practice to be undertaken lightly or sporadically. It requires persistence. It demands faith. You must be willing to maintain your assumption, even when your senses deny its reality. For remember, what you are seeing in your outer world is the result of past assumptions. Your new assumption, if persisted in, will inevitably bring about a new reality. As you move through your weekend, you may encounter moments of doubt or distraction. This is natural, for you are breaking old patterns of thought and behavior. When these moments arise, do not fight them. Do not resist them. Simply acknowledge them and then gently but firmly return to your assumed state. Imagine, if you will, that you are an actor playing a role. The role is that of your ideal self, the person you wish to be. Throughout your weekend, stay in character. Feel what that person would feel. Think what that person would think. Move as that person would move. For in doing so, you are not pretending, but revealing your true self. This practice requires a fundamental shift in consciousness. It asks you to see time not as a linear progression, but as a vast eternal now. In this eternal now, all possibilities is simultaneously. Your task is simply to select the state you wish to occupy, to feel it as real and to persist in that feeling. As you do this, you will find that your weekends take on a new quality. They become not just a break from work, but a canvas upon which you paint the masterpiece of your life.
Yes, that's my guy.
Each moment becomes charged with purpose and possibility. Each action becomes an expression of your highest self. But what of rest, you may ask? What of relaxation and enjoyment? I say to you, true rest comes not from inaction, but from alignment. When you are living in harmony with your deepest desires, when you are expressing your true nature, you will find that every activity becomes restful. Every moment becomes enjoyable. Imagine the deep satisfaction of an artist absorbed in their work, or an athlete in the flow of their sport. This is the state of being that awaits you when you live from the end, when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. In this state, motivation is not something you need to maintain, but something that flows through you naturally and effortlessly. As we continue our exploration of staying motivated during the weekend, I want you to understand that this is not about forcing yourself to be productive every moment. It's about aligning yourself so completely with your desires that action becomes a joy, not a burden.
Yes, sir.
Consider the concept of the Sabbath, a day of rest observed in many spiritual traditions. The true essence of the Sabbath is not idleness, but a realignment with the divine. It is a time to step back from the doing and immerse yourself in being. This, my dear friends, is the key to maintaining motivation throughout your flight. Each morning as you awake, before you even open your eyes, take a moment to feel the reality of your desire fulfilled. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the deep sense of purpose that comes from living as your ideal self. Let this feeling permeate every cell of your being. As you move through your day,
Say yay. Hey.
carry this feeling with you. Let it inform every action, every interaction. If you find yourself engaging in activities that seem mundane or unrelated to your goals, imbue them with the energy of your assumed state. For remember, it is not what you do that matters, but the state from which you do it. Preferably at the same time, to fully immerse yourself in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. During this hour, engage in activities that align with your soul state. If your goal is to be a successful entrepreneur, use this hour to read books on business, to strategize, to visualize your thriving enterprise. If your aim is vibrant health, use this time for exercise, meal planning, or studying nutrition. Whatever your desire, use this hour to live as if it were already realized. This hour of gold serves two purposes. First, it reinforces your assumption, impressing it more deeply upon your subconscious mind. Second, it creates a habit of focused, purposeful action that will naturally extend to the rest of your days. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, what if I have family obligations? What if my weekend is filled with the needs and desires of others? To this I say, includes all that is necessary for its fulfillment. As you're in the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find that your interactions with others naturally align with successful in your chosen field. You will find that your time with your children becomes more quality filled, more meaningful. If you assume the state of being a supportive partner while also pursuing your personal goals, you will find that your relationships deepen and flourish clearly. For you see, motivation in its truest form is not about doing more, but about being more. It's about expanding your consciousness to encompass all that you desire to be and experience. As you do this, you will find that every moment of your weekend becomes infused with purpose and joy. But what of those moments when you feel your energy flagging, when the temptation to slip into old patterns arises? This, my dear friends, is where the power of your imagination comes into play. In these moments, close your eyes and vividly imagine yourself as you wish to be. See yourself moving through your day with boundless energy and enthusiasm. Feel the vitality coursing through your veins. This is not mere visualization. This is the activation of a spiritual law. For your imagination is not a fanciful escape from reality. It is the very workshop in which you forge your reality. What you will find that these moments of flagging energy become less and less frequent, for you are no longer trying to motivate yourself. You are simply allowing the naturally motivated state of your true self to express itself. Remember, the person you are imagining yourself to be is not a fiction. It's your true self, your higher self, the self that exists beyond the limitations of time and space. In assuming this state, you are not. Many believe that to stay motivated, they must constantly push themselves, constantly strive and struggle. But I say to you, true motivation comes not from pushing, but from allowing. It comes from aligning yourself completely with your desire. That action flows naturally and effortlessly. Think of a river flowing to the sea. It does not struggle. It does not strain. It simply follows the least resistance, allowing gravity to guide its course. This is how your weekend can be when you live from the state of your wish fulfilled. You do not push against the current of life, but flow with it, allowing it to carry you effortlessly towards your goals. But what of obstacles, you may ask? What are the challenges and setbacks that inevitably arise? I say to you, these are not barriers to your progress, but opportunities for growth and expansion. When you encounter what seems to be an obstacle, do not see it as something to be overcome. See it as a gift, an opportunity to express more fully the state you have assumed. If you have assumed the state of being a successful entrepreneur and you encounter a business challenge, do not see it as a problem. See it as an opportunity to express your creativity, your resilience, your innovative spirit. If you have assumed the state of vibrant health and you feel tempted by unhealthy food, see it not as a temptation to be resisted, but as an opportunity to express your commitment to well-being. In every challenge, in every setback, ask yourself, how would the person I am imagining myself to be respond to this situation? How would they think? How would they feel? Then embody that response fully and completely. As you move through your weekend in this way, you will find that motivation becomes your natural state of being. You will no longer need to push yourself to take action towards your goals. Action will flow naturally from your assumed action. But remember, this is not about constant doing. It's about constant being. There will be times for rest, for relaxation, for simple enjoyment. But even these times will be infused with the energy of your assumed state. Your rest will be more rejuvenating, your relaxation more fulfilling.
Meet Bree. She's always saying, I'll do it someday, constantly burned out with work. Her potential, just sitting there, waiting. Then
Your enjoyment more profound. For when you live from the end, when you assume that you wish fulfilled, every moment becomes an opportunity for self-expression, for growth, for the realization of your deepest desires. Now let us address a question that often arises when discussing motivation. What about when I don't feel like doing anything? What about those moments of laziness or procrastination? My beloved, these moments are not your enemy. They are not something to be fought against or overcome. They are simply indicators that you have momentarily stepped out of alignment with your assumed state. When these moments arise, do not judge yourself. Do not berate yourself for lack of motivation. Instead, gently but firmly return to your assumed state. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and feel once again the runcible utidore fulfilled. Feel the energy, the enthusiasm, the sense of purpose that comes from living as your ideal self. Remember, you are not trying to force yourself to be motivated. You are simply returning to your natural state of alignment with your true self. As you do this, you will find that the feelings of laziness or procrastination naturally dissolve, replaced by a renewed sense of purpose and energy. But what of those tasks that seem mundane or unrelated to your goals, not as separate from your goals, but as integral parts of the life you are creating? If you have assumed the state of being a successful entrepreneur, see the act of doing laundry as part of maintaining the orderly, efficient lifestyle of a successful person. If you have assumed the state of being a best-selling author, see the act of cleaning your house as creating the perfect environment for creativity to flourish. In every task, no matter how seemingly insignificant, find a way to express the state you have assumed. For in doing so, you reinforce your assumption and bring it more fully into your experience. As we near the conclusion of our exploration, I want to address one final aspect of staying motivated during the weekend: the power of reflection and revision. Each evening before you sleep, take a few moments to review your day. But do not simply recall the events as they occurred. Instead, revise them. See each event, each interaction, each moment as a perfect expression of your assumed state. If there were moments when you felt out of alignment, revise them in your imagination. See yourself responding from your ideal state. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the sense of purpose that comes from living fully as your true self. This practice of revision is not mere fantasy or wishful thinking. It is a powerful tool for impressing upon your subconscious mind the reality of your assumed state. For your subconscious does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is actually experienced. By revising your day in this way, you are literally rewriting your subconscious beliefs and setting the stage for a new and more empowered experience in the days to come. As you drift off to sleep, carry with you the feeling of your wish fulfilled. For it is in sleep that your subconscious mind is most receptive to impression. Let your last thoughts, last feelings before sleep be those of living fully as your ideal self. And when you awake each morning, before you even open your eyes, reconnect with this feeling. Feel the joy, the excitement, the sense of purpose that comes from living as the person you wish to be. Let this feeling be your guide throughout your day. My dear friends, as we come to the close of our time together,
Yes, sir.
I want you to understand that staying motivated during the weekend is not about forcing yourself to be productive every moment. It's not about pushing against your natural rhythms or denying yourself rest and relaxation. True motivation, lasting motivation, comes from alignment. It comes from living so fully in the state of your fulfilled that inspired action becomes your natural way of being. It comes from seeing every moment, every task, every interaction as an opportunity to express your true self, your highest self. The weekend is not a pause in your journey towards your goals. It is not a time to step away from your dreams. It is a precious gift, an opportunity to immerse yourself fully in the feeling of being the person you wish to be, of living the life you wish to live. As you leave here tonight and return to your daily lives, I urge you to carry this truth with you. You are already the person you wish to be. You already have within you everything you need to live the dreams. Your task is not to become something you are not, but to unveil what you truly are. Live from this truth. Feel it in every fiber of your being. Let it infuse every thought, every word, every action. For as you do, you set in motion forces beyond your current comprehension. You activate the infinite intelligence of the universe, and it begins to rearrange the entire world to conform to your assumption. Remember, your imagination is the very workshop of creation. Use it wisely. Use it lovingly. Use it with the full knowledge of its power. For what you imagine with feeling, with conviction, with assurance of present reality, must and will objectify in your world. Go forth now, not in search of motivation, but in the joyous expression of your naturally motivated self. Live each moment with your weekend from the assumption of your wish fulfilled. Sleep each night in the knowledge that as you slumber, the infinite intelligence of the universe is working tirelessly to bring your assumptions into physical form. And above all, persist in your assumption. Persist in your faith. For in your persistence lies your power. In your persistence lies the key to staying motivated, not just during the weekend, but in every moment of your life. My dear friends, you stand at the threshold of a new experience, a life of boundless motivation, of unwavering focus, of joyous pursuit of your deepest desires. This life is not a distant possibility. It is your birthright, your true nature, waiting to be claimed. Step into it now. Assume it now. Live from it now. For now is the only moment that exists, and now is the moment of creation. Now is the moment where you decide who you are and what you will experience. Choose wisely, my beloved. Choose joyfully. Choose with the full knowledge of your divine. For as you choose, so shall your world be. Go now in peace and in power, knowing that the entire universe conspires for your success. For you are the universe expressing itself as a human for a little while.
Yes, sir.
Express yourself fully.
Yes, sir.
Express yourself joyfully.
Yes, sir.
Express the motivated, purposeful, fulfilled being that you are. And so it is.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Meeting my people up. All my people up. Hey, all my people up. Hey. So, that one actually, since it's Friday, that one actually felt pretty good. Hold on real quick. Let me see something. Yeah, that one actually felt pretty good because now I don't have to be searching for motivation. I can just be what I want to be. All right, let's have some fun. Let's see. Ready for the talk. Let's see what we talking about on this. Hey, let's see some sales training.
Be different. Let your words flow like water. Be different. Let your words flow like water. Practice them. Next thing you know, you're crushing it. And in your industry, everybody's like, dude, that guy's the machine. I don't know where he comes up with this stuff. Well, it was all from your sales training. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Andy. In this video, I want to talk to you about new language in other industries. This is how I became great at sales. Obviously, I train in every sector of sales across the world, but I'm gonna tell you why I got interested in learning other industries was because it made me great at the niche that I was in. Everybody always says, practice, repetition is the mother of skill. See, when I trained and I practiced and I was speaking, I didn't practice until I got it right. I practiced until I couldn't get it wrong.
Yes, sir.
Write this down.
Yes, sir.
Don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't, underline can't, get it wrong.
That's my guy.
So what I want you to
That's my
understand is
guy.
this. We're gonna make your words flow like water.
Yes, sir.
Literally, when you speak, do you wanna be different? I'm gonna ask you a question. What niche are you in? What industry you're in? Are other people like you out there? Do you wanna be different? Do you wanna stand out? When you talk to somebody, do you want to have new language, which is, by the way, the topic of what we're talking about here, new language. So when you're talking to somebody about your industry or your niche or what your product does, do you want to sound like the last guy that they just spoke to and you're literally repeating just what they said, almost identical, so you sound like a parrot? They're hearing the same thing twice. It's not making them want to do anything different. In order to make somebody to want to do something different than they didn't want to do with someone else, you're gonna have to be different. How are you gonna be different? By new language. So one of the ways that I became great at speaking, talking, closing, different strategies, mindset, like articulating my words, moving a client, was that I studied other industries. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Andy. A lot of you leave comments telling me that you need help. Do me a favor, I'm gonna tell you the YouTube, right? And you type, I got your back for life. Let's get back to the video. So like if you go to YouTube, right, and you type in car sales training, you're gonna get automotive sales training. That was my niche. But I studied sales training. 2% was car sales, 90% was sales training. If you go in and type in sales training, you're gonna get the whole world. There's a giant piece of the pie there. Your goal is when you speak to be able to influence and persuade and move people in the direction that you want to move them. And by the way, in order to do that and do it at a really high level and be a top 1%er, you're going to need to study other industries. And when I say studying other industries, I mean this. If you know your niche, you get rich. You should know your business better than anyone else in the world, but also you should know that the way that you speak to somebody and the way you talk to them, there's a good chance they probably researched that already. They probably got on the internet. They found out a lot of information about that. And then when they reach out and actually get to talk to somebody and they're talking to you, do you sound like you're able to move them in the direction to have the courage to buy it today and move forward right now? That's where in other industries, when I studied the way other people move, the way that they worked, the way that they talked, it really led me to be greater in my own individual niche. And what I took when I studied these other industries was new language, the words. So I'm gonna kind of go over some points here, right? What people outside of your industry are saying that works. So what I like to do is that, let's say I'm studying, and let's say I'm a solar salesman, right? And I'm studying to sell solar and I wanna be great at it. Couldn't I go over and maybe watch an automotive sales training video when someone's sitting down on a negotiation and maybe the salesman's doing money justification and he's talking to the client about how you can save money on gas, and that right there, like you work hard for your money, you put your money in the bank, when the money leaves the bank, that's the real money spent. Am I right? When they're talking about like ownership cost, what it costs to own something, maybe with like a warranty on the car, maybe when something breaks. Couldn't somebody watch automotive sales training who was in like a home warranty sales industry, and he's talking to people and he's like, hey, listen, at the end of the day, what I do is I sell home warranties. They're $600 for 2 years. Listen, right now, an average dishwasher, if it was to break, it'd cost anywhere from, $200 an hour to fix plus $300 part. You'd spend $900 just to fix the dishwasher. This covers the whole house. The cost of the 2-year coverage protection that takes all the freaking, headache away from you in the event that something happens, it costs $600. If the dishwasher broke, it costs $900. If your oven went out, it would be $6,000. Guys, think about the things that could add up, and to get all this protection to make you sleep at night like a baby and be protected for $600, that's worth it. That's $300 a year. By the way, 12 months in a year, $300 a year, what is that? We're down to $25 a month. That's 90 cents a day to know that if anything in your house breaks, it's gonna be paid for. What did I do? I just used money justification that I learned from an automotive sales training video, and now I took it into home warranties or took it into solar. Do you guys get it? Your goal is to study other industry, find things that work, and then tie them into the way that you sell and teach.
Yes, sir.
So become a student of the game. So what works for other people? Also, make your words flow like water. If you'll notice just a second ago when I was talking to you, did I stutter? Did I flinch? No, it's because my words flow like water. I just said, don't study till you get it right. Study until you can't get it wrong. So many people practice a word track and then finally when they get it right, they're like, I got it. Dude, you don't have it. You got to say it over and over and over and over and over until you can't get it wrong. Getting it right one time don't be nothing. Get it right 1,000 times. Now you're not going to get it wrong again, okay? Keep yourself different. This is how you stay different. This is called real studying. This is what's going to make you the elite. And then lastly, role play. Repetition is the mother of skill. There's 2 ways to role play, okay? Number 1, I repeat something. Maybe I'm watching it on a camera. I'm like returning it on and I'm looking at my camera and I'm like, guy says, hey, I need to think about it. I'm like, of course you need to think about it. I haven't given enough information. Now I'm going into my little role play word track, right? And I'm looking at the camera. I'm going into it. I'm looking at my posture. I'm looking at my body language. I'm listening to my words. Do my words flow like water? Does it look like I believe? And then when I'm done, I press play and I record it and watch myself. Or role play, live fire. Get a buddy, get a partner, get your wife, whatever, and role play and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna hit you with this and I want you to see if you would close up on this. So ready, babe, say no, and then boom, boom, boom. What do you think? You good? Did I look like I believe in myself? Would you have bought it? If you wanted what I have, right, would you have said yes to me based on the way I presented that? Live role play. Let her tell you no. Hey, no, man, hey, listen, I totally understand, I appreciate it, but I'm still gonna think about it. Let her tell you no. Make you go 2 or 3 rounds so you can dig deep and really show her what you have. Repetition's the mother of skill. It's all in role play. So this video is about new language. Where do you find new language? A lot of the time, study your business like the back of your hand, but go and study other industries on things that work. Then practice those things, be different, let your words flow like water, practice them. Next thing you know, you're crushing it. And in your industry, everybody's like, dude, that guy's the machine. I don't know where he comes up with this stuff. Well, it was all from your sales training. Let's kill it.
Yes, sir. Hey, look.
Hey guys, I just want to tell you, you're the true 1%ers. You make.
Now that's a good way to start off. Let's go. No, I ain't looking for love. President Reagan radio addresses on Canadian elections. Okay, no. Hey, my mans. We liking this.
If you have to travel for work a lot, your place is probably empty a lot. Make it an Airbnb and let it work for you.
Good morning, John, and good morning to the class of 2017, and also all of the other classes, and people who aren't in classes. Here's what I think is probably up with most of you. It's what was up with me. You have done the thing other people have told you to do for your entire life, and now you don't know what to do, because guess what? Freedom is awful, and I can't decide what to have for dinner, much less what to do with the rest of my life. You have an infinite number of paths ahead of you. Pick! Join the army, or the Peace Corps, or the clergy. Go to grad school, or business school, or horoscope school. Where do astrologers go to school? Build your side hustles, and start a podcast, and follow your dreams until you realize that your dreams aren't actually that great, because work has much more to do with the people you do it with and your own attitude than whatever it is you're actually doing. I loved science, and I got a job doing science after I graduated, and it was miserable. Not because I didn't like the science, it's because I was the only person in the lab. All the time, just me and my pipettes and a family of armadillos and a giant canister of liquid nitrogen. And yes, that sounds kind of awesome, but after 6 months, it gets a little lonely. If you are very lucky, you have discovered something you like doing. It is very easy to get through life without discovering a saleable skill that you enjoy. And that is, by the way, how dream jobs actually happen. You find a thing that you like doing, at least most of the time, and you do it enough that you get good enough at it that people will pay you to do it. So if you like doing a thing that has economic value, continue doing that thing. You are one of the lucky ones. If you don't, welcome to being most people. To you, I offer only this. You are normal. We evolved for a world so unlike the one that we find ourselves in that it is amazing any of us can function at all. Humans are, above everything, adaptable. But the idea that any of this stuff, careers and job interviews and diplomas and the jobs themselves, is like a normal human construction that you're designed to deal with, it's crazy. It's all brand new, super weird cultural constructions that didn't exist like 300 years ago. This stuff all seems very normal. It's not. And if you base your self-worth on it, which we do. We are asked to. It's what society says our value is, but if you do, it's gonna be real hard to be happy. You don't need a job that changes the world and that's environmentally friendly and that is creatively fulfilling in every way and that uses any diploma, much less the diploma that you happen to have. You need to feel valuable. But all of the different constraints that is being placed on like what a valuable life looks like, it's nuts. It's way too much to expect from anyone, much less everyone. It takes so long to get it into your head. You didn't go to school to learn how to get a job. You went to school to learn. And you did it. You know more stuff now. So, you might never know what you're doing. But do me this favor. Get out of bed every morning knowing that no one changes the world alone and no one doesn't change it at all. We are all exceptional and none of us are. And we are all lost sometimes. So follow a path, any path, until you get to a place that you feel like you don't like and then change your direction. Because there's one thing that you are making every day, no matter what you're doing, and that is yourself. That is your job, and you must do it well. For me, there's a lot of strength in knowing that the wandering that I am doing, that I've done, is normal and kind of beautiful and not something I should be stressed out about. You're on a path. You don't know where it's going, and that would be boring if you did. John, I'll see you on Tuesday. Here is the current list of people who will be at PodCon.
That's my guy. We done seen a couple of his videos throughout the days. Alright. Learn English through story. Hey. No. Hey. No. Ooh.
Young people ask, am I ready to leave home? The idea of moving out can be exciting and scary at the same time. How do you know if you're ready to live on your own? Examine your reasons. There are plenty of reasons you might decide to leave home, some of them not too wise. For example, a young man named Mario admits, I wanted to move out so I could escape the responsibilities I had at home. The fact is, you'll probably have less freedom if you move out. If you leave home, says 18-year-old Anya, you'll have to take care of your own place, provide your own meals, pay your own bills, and you won't have parents down the hallway to help you out. The bottom line, you need to understand why you want to leave home in order to know whether you're ready. Count the cost. Jesus said, who of you wanting to build a tower does not first sit down and calculate the expense to see if he has enough to complete it? Luke 14:28. How can you calculate the expense of leaving home? Examine yourself in the following areas. Can you handle money responsibly? The Bible says, money is a protection. Ecclesiastes 7:12. Do you have trouble saving? Are you a compulsive spender? Do you often find yourself borrowing from others? If you answered yes to any of those questions, the dream of living on your own could turn into a nightmare.
My brother left home when he was 19. Within a year, his savings were gone. His car was repossessed, his credit was damaged, and he was begging to come back home. Danielle.
What you can do now. Ask your parents what their typical expenses are for a month. What bills do they receive? And how do they budget their income to pay for those bills? How do they save? The bottom line, learning how to handle money now while you're living at home will prepare you to face the harsh financial realities of life on your own. Are you self-disciplined? The Bible says, each one will carry his own load. Galatians 6:5. Are you a procrastinator? Do your parents have to remind you to do your chores? Do you often break your curfew? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you'll probably find it even more difficult to be responsible when you're living on your own.
When you're on your own, there are things you don't particularly enjoy, but simply must make time for. No one is going to tell you to do those things, so you need to be self-motivated and able to keep a routine. Jessica.
What you can do now. For an entire month, try taking on as many responsibilities as you can around the home. For example, clean the house by yourself, wash your own clothes, shop for groceries, cook a meal each night, and wash the dishes afterward. This will give you an idea of what you'll face when you live on your own. The bottom line. Self-discipline is essential if you are to live independently. Are you emotionally stable? The Bible says, "Put them all away from you, wrath, anger, badness, abusive speech." Colossians 3:8. Is it difficult for you to get along with others? Do you have trouble controlling your temper? Do you always want things to be done your way? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you'll probably find it challenging to live with a roommate, or, in time, a marriage mate.
Living with roommates revealed my weaknesses. I learned that I couldn't expect others to tolerate my foul moods caused by stress. I had to find a healthier way to deal with it. Helena.
What you can do now. Learn to get along with your parents and siblings. After all, how you handle the imperfections of those you live with now is an indication of how you will handle the imperfections of anyone you live with later. The bottom line. Living on your own isn't an escape. It's a skill that requires preparation. Why not talk to those who have succeeded at it? Ask them, in hindsight, what they would have done differently, or what they wish they had known then that they know now. That's good to do regarding any major decision you make. What your peers say.
Many young people underestimate how difficult it is to pay for everything all on their own. It's hard to find an affordable place to live. Not realizing that, many rush to get out and eventually end up going right back home. Dapo.
Living at home gives a young person an opportunity to take on responsibility gradually. Some may start by doing more chores or paying some bills or even cooking for the family. These little steps can prepare you for living independently later. Ashley.
Hey, we're gonna watch another one of their videos because that actually was pretty insightful. Let's see.
Hello everyone, this is Joe Kudla, founder and CEO of Viore, and today I'm going to walk you through some
ways to improve your health. Who wants to be sick? At the very least, an illness is an inconvenience and an expense. You not only feel bad, but when you are sick, you may not be able to go to work or school, earn any money, or look after your family. You may even need someone to look after you, and you may have to pay for expensive medicines and treatment. Well has it been said that prevention is better than cure. Some illnesses cannot be avoided. Still, there is much you can do to slow down or even prevent the onset of illness. Consider 5 things that you can do today to get on the road to better health. 1. Practice good hygiene. According to the Mayo Clinic, one of the best ways to avoid getting sick and spreading illness is to wash your hands. One of the easiest ways to catch a cold or influenza is to rub your nose or your eyes when your hands have been contaminated by germs. Your best defense against such contamination is to wash your hands regularly. Good hygiene can also prevent the spread of more serious conditions, such as pneumonia and diarrheal diseases, which every year cause the death of over 2 million children under the age of 5. Even the spread of deadly Ebola can be minimized by the simple habit of washing hands. There are certain times when hand washing is particularly important to protect your own health and that of others. You should wash your hands after using the toilet, after changing diapers or helping a child to use the toilet, before and after treating a wound or a cut, before and after being with someone who is sick, before preparing, serving, or eating food, after sneezing, coughing, or blowing your nose, after touching an animal or animal waste, after handling garbage. And do not take it for granted that you are cleaning your hands properly. Studies have shown that a large percentage of those who use public toilets do not wash their hands afterward or do not wash them correctly. How should you wash your hands? Wet your hands in clean running water and apply soap. Rub your hands together to make a lather, not forgetting to clean your nails, your thumbs, the backs of your hands, and between your fingers. Keep rubbing for at least 20 seconds. Rinse in clean running water. Dry with a clean cloth or a paper towel. Such measures are simple, but can avert illness and save lives. 2. Use a safe water supply. Obtaining sufficient clean water for one's family is a regular chore in some countries. Yet, access to clean water can become a concern in any part of the world when a main supply that is usually good to drink becomes contaminated as a result of a flood, a storm, a pipe break, or some other issue. If water does not come from a safe source or is not stored correctly, it can cause parasite infestation, as well as cholera, life-threatening diarrhea, typhoid, hepatitis, and other infections. Unsafe drinking water is one of the causes of an estimated 1.7 billion cases of diarrheal disease every year. Cholera is most often contracted when a person drinks water or eats food that is contaminated with fecal matter from infected people. What steps can you take to protect yourself, even in the immediate aftermath of a disaster, from this and other types of water contamination? Ensure that all your drinking water, including the water used for brushing teeth, making ice, washing food and dishes, or cooking, comes from a safe source, such as an adequately treated public supply or sealed bottles from a reputable firm. If there is any possibility that your piped supply has been contaminated, boil your water before use or treat it with an appropriate chemical product. When using chemicals, such as chlorine or water purifying tablets, follow the maker's directions carefully. Use quality water filters if available and affordable. If no water treatment products are available, add household bleach, 8 drops per gallon of water, 2 drops per liter, mix well, and then let the water stand for 30 minutes before using it. Always store treated water in clean, covered containers to protect it from possible recontamination. Ensure that any vessel used to take water from your stored supply, such as a ladle, is clean. Handle water containers with clean hands, and do not dip your hands or fingers into water used for drinking. 3. Watch what you eat. Good health is impossible without good nutrition, and for good nutrition, you need a healthy, balanced diet. You may need to consider your intake of salt, fats, and sugar, and you should watch your portion sizes. Include fruits and vegetables in your diet, and vary what you eat. Reading the packaging will help you to select whole grain foods when buying bread, cereals, pasta, or rice. These are richer in nutrients and fiber than the alternatives made from refined grain. As for proteins, Eat small and lean portions of meat and poultry, and try to eat fish a couple of times a week if possible. In some lands, it is also possible to find protein-rich foods from vegetable sources. If you eat too many sugars and solid fats, you risk becoming overweight. To minimize this risk, drink water instead of sweet beverages. Eat more fruit instead of sugary desserts. Limit your intake of solid fats from such items as sausages, meat, butter, cakes, cheese, and cookies. And instead of using solid fats for cooking, you may want to use healthier oils. Too much salt or sodium in the diet can raise your blood pressure to an unhealthy level. If this is your problem, use the information on food packaging to keep your sodium intake low. Instead of salt, use herbs and spices to flavor your meals. How much you eat can be as important as what you eat. So, while enjoying your food, do not keep eating after you are no longer hungry. An issue tied to nutrition is the risk of food poisoning. Any food can poison you if it is not prepared and stored properly. Every year, 1 out of every 6 Americans falls sick from food poisoning. Most recover without lasting ill effects, but some die from it. What can you do to minimize the risk? Vegetables grow in soil that may have been treated with manure, so wash these items carefully before preparing them. Wash your hands, cutting board, utensils, dishes, and countertops with hot, soapy water before preparing each item. To avoid cross-contamination, never put food on a surface or plate that was previously in contact with raw eggs, poultry, meat, or fish without first washing that surface. Cook until the food reaches the right temperature and promptly refrigerate any perishable items that are not going to be eaten immediately. Discard perishable items left at room temperature for more than 2 hours, or 1 hour if air temperature exceeds 90 degrees Fahrenheit, or 32 degrees Celsius.
You need to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself if you're being bold enough. If you search your soul, I think you're going to find out that you're not.
4. Stay physically active. Regardless of your age, you need regular physical activity to stay in good shape. Many people today do not exercise enough. Why is exercise important? Staying physically active can help you to sleep well, stay mobile, maintain strong bones and muscles, maintain or achieve a healthy weight, lower your risk of suffering from depression, lower your risk of premature death. If you do not stay physically active, you are more likely to suffer from heart disease, suffer from type 2 diabetes, develop high blood pressure, develop high cholesterol, suffer a stroke. The kind of physical activity that is right for you depends on your age and your health, so it would be wise to consult your doctor before beginning any new exercise program. According to various recommendations, children and adolescents should get at least 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous activity every day. Adults should get 150 minutes of moderate activity or 75 minutes of vigorous activity every week. Choose an activity that is fun. You might consider basketball, tennis, soccer, brisk walking, cycling, gardening, chopping wood, swimming, canoeing, jogging, or other aerobic exercise. How can you tell whether an activity is moderate or vigorous? A general guide would be that moderate activity makes you sweat, but more vigorous exercise makes it hard for you to hold a conversation while doing it. 5. Get enough sleep. The amount of sleep needed varies from person to person. Most newborns sleep for 16 to 18 hours a day, toddlers about 14 hours, and preschoolers about 11 or 12. School-age children generally need at least 10 hours of sleep. Adolescents, perhaps 9 or 10, and adults from 7 to 8. Getting the right amount of rest should not be considered optional. According to experts, sufficient sleep is important for growth and development in children and teenagers, learning and retention of new information, maintaining the right balance of hormones that impact metabolism and weight, cardiovascular health, disease prevention. Insufficient sleep has been linked to obesity, depression, heart disease, diabetes, and tragic accidents. Surely, these give us good reason to want to get enough rest. So, what can you do if you realize that you have a problem getting enough sleep? Try to go to bed and get up at the same time every day. Make your bedroom quiet, dark, relaxing, and neither too warm nor too cold. Do not watch TV or use gadgets while in bed. Make your bed as comfortable as possible. Avoid heavy meals, caffeine, and alcohol before bedtime. If after applying these suggestions you still suffer from insomnia or other sleep disorders, such as excessive daytime sleepiness or gasping for breath while sleeping, you may want to consult a qualified healthcare professional. The following is supplementary information. Safeguard your health. Your health is affected by realities over which you have no control, such as economic conditions, the availability of resources, and so on. In all likelihood, however, it should be within your means to adopt at least some of the suggestions given in the foregoing article. As a wise man of ancient times put it, the shrewd one sees the danger and conceals himself. Proverbs 22:3. Readers of the Holy Scriptures are comforted by the trustworthy promise that one day soon, no resident will say, "I am sick." Isaiah 33:24. In the meantime, do all you can to safeguard your health and that of your loved ones. End of article.
Yes, sir. Let's get one more. I really enjoyed these.
Wisdom that protects. Riches are the ransom for a man's life, but the poor are not even threatened. Proverbs 13:8. While being rich may have certain advantages, wealth is a mixed blessing, especially in our perilous times. In some lands, the wealthy, including tourists who look affluent, have become targets of thieves and kidnappers seeking a ransom. Concerning one developing country, a news report stated, "Violent robberies, fraud, and kidnappings pit the haves against the have-nots. Restaurants post armed guards. The homes of the wealthy have walls with razor wire, floodlights, cameras, and security guards." A similar situation exists in many other lands. Yet the poor, the Bible says, are not even threatened. How can you benefit from that gem of wisdom? If you live in an area known for crime and violence, or if you have to travel to such a place, do not attract attention to yourself by appearing to be affluent. Think carefully about what you wear and carry in public, especially if your possessions will be noticed. The shrewd one sees the danger, says Proverbs 22:3, but the inexperienced keep right on going and suffer the consequences. The wisdom recorded in the Bible reflects our Creator's care for us. He wants us to be safe. Such wisdom is a protection, says Ecclesiastes 7:12, for it preserves the life of its owner. End of article.
the whole thing? I guess so.
Of course, one in my office. Now you say, that's a lot of TVs, Kurt, but I tell you what, it's nice to have that TV on when you're sitting there cooking in the kitchen, and you can just, there's a gap right behind there, and I can sit there and watch the Florida room TV, or if I just want the other TV on, I can leave that one in, and my wife has it on for the dog. You know, I'm just kind of pecking around, you know. Let's see, what else do you want to do, you know? So then, when the virus came, you know, I knew I had to get up to Virginia to help my mother. And, you know, so, well, I forgot to tell you, so back then, you know, I was living the dream when we first got here. We joined the you know, because golf, you know, I was a big golfer when I was younger. Not so much when I got older because it's expensive. I was up in Michigan for sure. So we went ahead and bought the golf membership, and I was playing, you know, 3 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week. But you know what, it's too much of a good thing. It's just, I got sick of it, you know. But you know, and I think I bought a membership in 2018 also. So that was 2 years of golf before I just decided, you know, I want to do other things. I want to come out here and do some hiking, you know, whatever else there is. But all during that time when I was playing golf, I was working on the house. You know, the driveway had drainage problems. There was a big tunnel underneath it. I had to dig that all out, move all that rock, you know, and that was a big project with sawhorses. It took me months because I was playing so much golf, you know. I work on it every day I wasn't playing. And of course, at that time, you know, you're living the dream, right? I wanted to learn how to play pickleball. That was fun. You got the tennis courts. Yeah, you're saying, well, Kirk, that sounds like a rough life, you know. Well, you know, it's you try to stay busy. You got to keep, you know, my doctor says because I'm a cancer survivor, I have to exercise an hour every day. You know, when I'm going hiking, I try to do more than an hour. But when I'm doing other things, you know, I can only play about an hour pickleball, and then I'm done for the day. You know, so all right. So we're continuing looking around the house. So that I was getting into the journey up to Virginia. So I hadn't been camping in years, and so all that camping equipment was sitting in my garage, and I said, well, I got to find all my old backpacking clothes because I was planning on doing some backpacking. Got to redo the tents, you know, seam seal them, treat the fabric, get them out, make sure everything's still working okay. It took me months of preparation, and my wife's like, you're buying all this camping equipment. Because I couldn't, you know, some of the stuff had just, like my boots, for example. I got the boots out, and they weren't even, I don't think they were in the garage. And literally, I put them on my feet, and they just fell apart. The sole just, it had melted. It just fell right off the boot for just one example. And so now I'm buying seam sealer, but you know, I think that was important because if we do have a financial catastrophe, I'm going to go out and do some camping. I want to stay the hell away from people, and you know, and enjoy life. And can you imagine coming out here? Now I haven't found it. There's supposed to be a campground around here somewhere. I haven't, but it would be cool to backpack in here and spend a night. I mean, imagine just being out here somewhere. And there's other places like this around my area, and it's not a huge drive to get in here. So that was really important to upgrade all of that camping equipment. And in the event there's a hurricane or a power outage or you know, a natural disaster of some sort. Hell, look at what Texas just went through. So I can break out all that camping gear with propane heaters and everything else. All my cold weather gear I kept. So we would be pretty set in a situation like that. Plenty of food. That's another thing. You know, I'm always stocking up, making sure I got plenty of toilet paper, plenty of supplies, plenty of Clorox, plenty of hand sanitizer. So I was, you know, when the virus hit, I was completely ready with all the supplies. And then, you know, I was working on getting up to Virginia to camping along the way because I didn't want to stay in a hotel room, because back then we thought, you know, anybody that got it was going to die. You know, they were all over the place on that stuff, and so I upgraded the camping equipment. So then, you know, I looked around, and well, when I knew Biden was going to get into the presidency, you know, I'm thinking about, well, what are the Democrats going to do first thing? Well, he killed the Keystone Pipeline. He's, you know, a lot of the fracking is gone. So I knew, well, we got inflation coming too. That's the financial catastrophe. That was the first video, another video that I did. And so I wanted to make sure I had a vehicle, so I bought a motorcycle that gets 100 miles to the gallon. Now, not everybody can ride a motorcycle, I understand that, but you can get those three-wheelers, and they're expensive. I mean, you know, so I can understand. And even my motorcycle was expensive, and, you know, it is going to take some maintenance to keep it up, but, you know, I got it brand new, Honda 80V 150, I highly recommend it. It really gets up in boogies, and, you know, and it's fun because now I can come out here. If I was driving my car, I'm a long ways from home, okay? And that would be, you know, in my car, this would have been 3 gallons of gas. And if you, when we hit $5 a gallon, that's $15 right there just to come out here and go hiking. You know, my motorcycle at 100 miles to the gallon, I bet I wouldn't burn 1 gallon. It cost me maybe $5 to get here. So you got these are things you got to be thinking about. You know, I've also got kited in because of my camping, right? I got my water filters. I got a big one that I can just dump a mud puddle into, and it'll filter for a lot of water. Then I've got the pumping filters where you can go out backpacking, and I could just go right down here on this river and just pump water right out of that river and drink it right now. And boy, I tell you, that'd be good too. So, you know, my water supply is taken care of. The 50-gallon barrel in the back. You know, now this year, I mean, it took me from October, and I'm still working on it. And here we are about midway through March. But I put in a vegetable garden against the HOA rules. Screw them. You know, I want to grow some food. I think you're going to want to grow food. I think vegetables are going to be extremely expensive here very shortly. So, you know, it's not a huge garden, but I should get a pretty good yield out of it as long as I can keep the animals off of it. I mean, they're telling me that rabbits and, well, even birds or squirrels, you know, can get in there and steal your cherry tomatoes and stuff like that. So I got to probably buy some wire. I mean, so, you know, it's been a pretty, I wouldn't say expensive project. I mean, the dirt cost me $30. A lot of backbreaking work to get that rock out. You know, so that was another thing that I thought about. Then I said, well, wait a minute. That hot water heater's 20 years old. Of course, my liberal wife is still bitching at me about getting the hot water heater because the old one was still working. But I took a video, maybe I'll get it up someday, because I got to cut it up. I filmed them guys the whole time they were there. It took them 4 hours. There was so much sediment in the bottom of that thing, they couldn't get the water out of the hot water heater. And I knew it was going to be bad because the valve, I couldn't turn the valve to, because you got to drain a hot water heater about every 6 months to get the sediment out. And that one had never been drained because there's no way you could open the valve to drain it. So I knew that thing was going to be bad. And so now I'm resilient, right? Now I got a new hot water heater. And then I looked around, you know, I've been looking at my computer equipment, and it's getting dated. You know, my laptop's about 4 or 5 years old. My computers, I built them back in 2000. Now they're not still great computers. I mean, I spent the money back then and put them together. But you know, the technology has improved, and would I love to upgrade them or build a new computer? Sure, I would love it. Wow, hey, check the bird out. There he is. I wonder if that's probably a hawk. And here goes another boat. That's the third one I've seen. That's amazing that river's deep enough that they can just come down that channel. Boy, I bet that's a beautiful, beautiful boat ride. Holy moly. Now, one of them was a pontoon boat. It had its whole family on there. I thought that was cool. Imagine, I don't know, I wonder where they're putting in at. There's probably, must be someplace way up here on the river that they're putting in. Oh, back to the resilience. Sorry, get off on a tangent. See a bird, see a boat, and just go. And so I looked around at the computer equipment and the power. I mean, it was kind of like sometimes, you know, it's like God reaching down and tapping you on the head and saying, hey, you know, maybe you should take care of this. So I had had an old smart UPS, probably about 15 years old, because you can just replace the batteries in those, and that was my plan. So I kept it when I bought another UPS, you know, and I thought, well, I'll just... So I called up APC, and they're like, well, that one, smart UPS, is 15 years old. And, you know, I said, it was beeping at me. He says, well, that usually means the battery's going bad. And I said, well, you know, that would be a way to upgrade my computer room before the financial crisis hits, I'll put a new APC in. And also as a way to downgrade. I'm getting rid of both those, the UPSs that are in there, because that's a whole shelf. That's a whole shelf. I mean, that's a big box that I had in my small little office, so now I can get rid of that. It's going to give me a lot more room, and the new UPS will last about, I want to say 5 to 10 hours longer, which is incredible, because the UPS that I got now only lasts maybe an hour, hour or two, you know, maybe 2 hours, you know. So when the power went out a few times, I'm in there watching TV, and my wife, how can you have TV? You know, as long as you still got internet, right? So how can you have TV when all the power's out around the house? So I'm watching it off of the UPS, you know. Man, I tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and turn around. Well, let's get over this hill up here, and I got maybe one more video for the hiking video. That was a different video. So I mean, look at all those things that I've done. And rock, you know, I've gone underneath the rock. One of the sprinklers, I replaced all the sprinklers around the house, because you gotta, sometimes in Florida it gets dry for quite some time, so you gotta water that grass, otherwise it's gonna all die. And the whole sprinkler system was just shot. In fact, the buckets, you know, the outside of the sprinklers come out of the wall, and there's buckets down in the ground where the wiring is. And when I went out there, I couldn't find them. I'm like, they got to be right here, you know. And I dug down into the rock, and there it was, underneath the rock. They just buried it underneath the rock, and of course now it's completely full of dirt. And you got to be real careful because there's wiring down in there. So I had to sit out there with spiders crawling on me and bugs and crap, you know, because it was hot, and get all that sandy soil out of the box. And then I had to figure out, you know, where the problem was. Luckily I didn't have to hire somebody, but there were sections of those sprinklers. Those sprinklers were busted in three of the main lines, you know, and that cost money. Every time I brought somebody in, it was $70, $100. You know, there you go. And maybe I'm going to have to do it again. Maybe I nicked those lines in the back, putting that garden in. You know, a lot of the work I can do. And that was another thing, is the learning curve on all this stuff. You know, I had to learn how to work on sprinklers. You can't afford to pay somebody to do all that work all the time. Not the amount of work that I had. So that was another thing that I did. Took a tree out that was a maintenance nightmare. It was leaning over top of the house with the roots growing in. That was a 4-month-long project of me out there with a hatchet, whacking on it. 600-pound stump to come out of the ground, you know, moving rock. So all I'm saying, okay, for resilience is, you know, you're way late to the battle right now, but you know, you still got time before the dollar devalues so much that you can't buy anything. Not much time. So now would be a real good time to dip into that savings. It didn't earn you anything. You're not getting any interest. I've let all my CDs mature. I got a couple more, but you know, I'm still waiting on those. As soon as they mature, I'm spending the money, man. I don't keep it in the bank. I don't trust them. And if you got a safety deposit box, you don't want that either. You know, I'm sorry. You're just going to have the wherewithal to protect it at your house, because none of that stuff is going to be safe here very shortly. So, you know, so I'm just trying to give you what you can do now by looking back on everything that I did in the past, and maybe you got some ideas from me on everything I've done over the years, and that doesn't even cover, I bet that doesn't cover a fraction. So you can see, whenever I'm not golfing, which I'm not hardly anymore, you know, and the only reason I'm out here hiking is because I got to get exercise. You know, it's got to have a balance to life. I can't work on that garden every doggone day and kill my health. You know, I got to get out here and get some exercise. Plus, this is also mental relief. You know. So, you know, I work on myself mentally, spiritually, you know, the house, my fortress of solitude, you know, it's you know, all the way around, you know, stocking up, making sure I just, you know, like today, let's get another example. Okay, so I go to Publix, they always have something at the front door that's 2 for 1, and it's always a good deal, and that's kind of how they get people into the store, okay? I had to go anyway. I always recycle everything. I recycle my styrofoam and plastic bags, and they take those. So I made a little special trip to go there. And so, you know, I just go in, and what did I pick up today? 2 cans of soup. So what? You know, that's 2 meals right there. So yeah, I always try to, every time I'm at Publix or Winn-Dixie, you know, I try to pick up something that's survival, what I consider survival food. Now that soup's going to expire in a few years. It's not as good as buying the Mountain House, which I bought for backpacking, that doesn't expire until you know, like 2027 or whatever it was, something crazy, you know. So that stuff will keep for years and years and years, you know. Man, well, so it is getting pretty good. Well, someday I'll come back and we'll keep on going that way, but I guess this is getting really long. I'll kill the resilience video right there. I hope it helps somebody. You know, I only get a few people that watch these videos, but you know, it's a battle. I mean, you got to do it each and every day. And like hell, look at today. I always try to do something on the house every day. Now the leaves are coming down, and I've been up there probably 4 or 5 times this year already. And you know, before I put the ladder away, I said, you know what, I'm going to go up there one last time. And good thing I did. The leaves had come down by the thousands again, and the gutters, you know, they weren't completely full like they were before, but they were. So that took me a couple hours before I came out here hiking, you know. So I got something done on the house. It wasn't a whole lot. I got them bags taken back. Man, I want to keep going, but it's got. Hey, look how far I got to hike back. I think it's. Let's see. Let me get my finger in here. It's way over there somewhere. Oh my God! I hope I make it back. I just, you know, it's just I want to keep going because it looks like it's really going to dive back into the forest up here. I'm gonna wait and come back with my hikers someday. There's another bird. I can't be stupid. Let's take it back. Hey, guys, that's it for today for the videos. I made 3 of them. I am going to do, I might do it today, who knows. I'm going to make a liberals is stupid video. Or liberals are crazy video.
I enjoyed hearing them talk about that, because that was 3 years ago. Obviously, we still here.
This is the VOA Special English Economics Report. Are you a saver or a spender? A penny saved is a penny earned. This old saying calls attention to the wisdom of saving money. Putting money away for a rainy day is another way to talk about saving for the future. People who hate to spend money are known as tightwads, while those who like to get the most value for their money are called thrifty. A thrifty person is different from a spendthrift. A spendthrift is someone who spends wastefully. People like that are often said to spend money like a drunken sailor, or like there's no tomorrow. In the United States, people who want to start a savings account have different choices of where to put their money. These include banks and credit unions. Credit unions are cooperatives for people who have some kind of connection. For example, the members might work for a university or a government agency. Most credit unions are non-profit organizations. Credit unions, banks, and other financial institutions pay interest on savings accounts. But the interest rates are low. Certificates of deposit pay higher returns. For a certificate of deposit, or CD, a person agrees not to withdraw the money for a certain period of time. This term could be anywhere from a few months to several years. Longer terms and larger amounts pay higher interest. People can withdraw their money early, but they have to pay a penalty. Another way to save is through a money market fund. This is a kind of mutual fund. Mutual funds invest money from many people. The money is sometimes placed in short-term government securities. Money market funds, however, may not be federally guaranteed like other kinds of savings. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation guarantees savings up to $250,000. In a number of countries, people have been saving less over the years. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development is a group of 34 countries. The OECD says in 1990, Americans had a household savings rate of 7%. This year, that rate is expected to be a little more than 4%. Many European countries have higher rates, but Americans save more than families in countries like Japan and South Korea. For VOA Special English, I'm Mario Ritter. To read, listen.
Let me see. That seemed pretty boring, but it was good. It was English.
All right, agree with client and start time tracking. Great. So for Q4, I was thinking.
What are you doing?
Oh, we needed a whiteboard wall. We got this really important thing coming up.
Is that permanent marker?
No.
On my wall?
Yeah. Rob, how many times have I told you not to use that? A lot.
Get out.
Okay.
Good morning.
It is.
I wanted, before we get started, because I have a really important question to me, do something that you've practiced for a really long time and spend a moment just to commemorate the fact that I'm sitting in Abraham's living room right now. And I want to thank you for everything. I want to thank, obviously, Ms. Hicks for the opportunity to be in this energy and to allow us to be here today.
We are all in this together.
Yes, we are.
And we also want to let you know that we'll come directly to your living room.
But today I came to yours. My question is being answered as is everybody's, I would imagine, through the entire course of this experience. And so thank you for that. My reason for sitting here now is I am in the process of formulating a book that I'm trying to write about how one, through my experience, masters self so that we can move forward and live the life of our dreams. You've touched on everything from meditation to gratitude, obviously, to being present, to trusting, which I think trust is the most important. What else out of all of that do you feel would be the most important aspect I could or should include in that body of work?
And the intention of the book, what is the message you want to impart to those who read it?
That we have the power and the potential to be anything that we want to be, but most people don't believe that we are fully equipped or capable to do what we want to do and achieve.
And so it's basically what we're talking about here.
Yes.
And you're wanting an index?
Yes.
We appreciated your opening remarks here because an index.
An aspect I could or should include in that body of work.
And the intention of the book, what is the message you want to impart to those who read it?
That we have the power and the potential to be anything that we want to be, but most people don't believe that we are fully equipped or capable to do what we want to do and achieve.
And so it's basically what we're talking about here.
Yes.
And you're wanting an index?
Yes.
We appreciated your opening remarks here because what you acknowledged, we're going to take a little way around this because it'll be easier for you to hear than if we answer your question head on. And we are going to fully answer your question, so just enjoy this unfolding. We really appreciated your opening remarks because what you said to us, you tried to be very fast as you said it, but what you were wanting to convey to us is that you had several things that you were interested in that all took place before you sat here. And so you were acknowledging what felt to you like a perfect unfolding, getting ready for this next. It was like we were in this vehicle, and this vehicle, and this vehicle, and this vehicle, and now we're at this place of having this conversation. And that is the way it has been today. It is the way that it always is, but it was especially that way today. In other words, a largest number of clickings into place have taken place here today as a result of this perfection in unfolding of this, which leads us to something that came up earlier that we wanted to express with more detail. And that was the subject of our friend who was skiing and collided with someone else who was trying to occupy the same space at the same time. And even the subject of Esther rendezvousing with the elevator in the way that she did, or the people at the airport in the way that she did. And so we want to put some words around this segment for the purpose of a track title, so to speak. We're going to tell you what we're going to tell you, and then we're going to tell it to you, and then we're going to tell you what we told you, because this is really an important thing for you to understand about all of this. So this is what this is about. Infinite intelligence is infinite intelligence. And there are not enough words that could be articulated even in your entire lifetime to adequately describe the knowledge that infinite intelligence holds in relationship to you, in relationship to everything and everything else in the universe. This is mastery of understanding. This world doesn't just go around. This world is created. It is creation. It is not by chance. It is not willy-nilly. It is not airy-fairy. It is not by accident. It is not coincidence in the way humans mean coincidence. It's coincidence in that you're co-creating incidences, but timing of things. The timing of things is a masterful creation that we want you to focus on and just do your best to feel just for a moment. We want you to feel the all things are possible nature of this conversation that we're offering to you here. So a statement that we made that collided with some of your belief systems earlier today was that the night before, Esther's inner being knew what the circumstance of that elevator was going to be the next day. That kind of has to twist your brain into a knot. It makes it sound like things are predetermined, or like there is something that is out of your control. It isn't like that at all. Nothing is out of your control. It's just that every path isn't the path of least resistance. Nothing is out of your control, meaning that there is always a path. You discovering the path has to do with your willingness to intertwine with that broader perspective who does know. Some years ago, Esther and Jerry were in Texas, and they went to pick up their mail. Before, Esther's inner being knew what the circumstance of that elevator was going to be the next day. That kind of has to twist your brain into a knot. It makes it sound like things are predetermined, or like there is something that is out of your control. It isn't like that at all. Nothing is out of your control. It's just that every path isn't the path of least resistance. Nothing is out of your control, meaning that there is always a path. You discovering the path has to do with your willingness to intertwine with that broader perspective who does know. Some years ago, Esther and Jerry were in Texas, and they went to pick up their mail at a little town a short distance from where their house actually was sitting. And when they got to this little town and to the post office was surrounded by water. They had sandbags in the doorway to try to keep the water out, because the Cibolo Creek had risen from the large amount of rain. And so they couldn't get in to get their mail. But the roadways that they were driving on were high enough that they were fine, but the low areas were off limits to them for a while, for this day. So Jerry said, let's call our friends in San Antonio who own a 1,000-acre ranch, sort of right in the San Antonio city limits. And that Cibolo Creek runs right through their property. So if the creek is over its banks here, it's soon going to be over its banks there. And it runs right through a pasture where they have cattle and equipment. And so they called them and said, hey, just want you to know The Cibolo's over its banks and it's headed your way. And they had enough time that they moved the cattle into another field, higher ground, got the equipment out of the field, and then their friend called back and said, "Thank you so much. We were completely unaware." And we said, "Nice to have a friend upstream."
What separates great thinkers and the okay thinkers isn't talent. It's what they do with their time.
So, what we mean by this is something just that simple. Your inner being is in this altitude of perspective, of not just being able to see you where you are in relationship to the now things that are happening, but so much more. Everything. Oh, this path of least resistance that we're talking about, everything from where you are to where you want to be is known by your inner being. Everything about you and everything about everyone else that would relate to you is known by your inner being and their inner beings. And your inner beings and their inner beings are vibrationally in cahoots with each other. Vibrationally intertwined with each other for the well-being, for the upliftment of all. Does that make sense to you? Do you understand what good hands you are in? Do you understand that when your life has caused you to ask for something, how much energy and knowledge and energy that creates worlds is on board with you? But when you are doubtful of your own worthiness or not trusting your own ability, then even though that guidance which is available to you, you don't let yourself receive it for reasons of practicing thought. What we mean by that is by keeping beliefs going that you learned from somebody, that you learned from somebody, that they learned from somebody. In other words, most humans are not living in the now, which means most humans do not allow them access to the friend upstream. And we just cannot speak clearly enough the intelligence, the love, and the capability of that friend upstream. So much so that all things are understood because energy is in motion. And energy that is in motion is understandable by non-physical. And the way the energy that is in motion is turning out is understood by non-physical. This is not a guessing game. This is not an if game. So most humans hearing something like this would say, well, then why don't you make it clearer? Why don't you make what you know more clear to me so I will know it? And we say to you, what could be more clear than when you have the thought of skiing today that you feel yucky? What could be more clear? In other words, that's communication with every cell in your body. That's communication with you. Now, it's not your inner being saying, don't do this. This is your inner being looking somewhere else and you going somewhere that your inner being isn't looking. That's all. This isn't your inner being trying to keep you from doing things. This is your inner being just always pointing you in the direction of what your inner being knows you want. Because your inner being knows who you were coming in, knows who you were as non-physical energy, knows who you've become because of every step of your life, and has watched every single incremental change in your determination of who you are and what you want. And it's right there, ready to assist you. And here's the thing we so want you to hear. Inner beings ready to assist everyone else. Talk about win, 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 win. This can take a while because there's billions of you. Win, 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 win. Oh. So now what was your question?
You answered it. You answered it beautifully and perfectly. Thank you.
But speak it again. Speak your question again so that everyone will feel the fullness of what just happened. It's hard to even find it because the answer is a stronger vibration, but find your question.
My question was actually more specifically tied to a book, but the answer was about my action to create the book. And so I took more from it than what I asked.
So your inner being knows who you are and what you came to say. And your inner being knows how what you came to say has changed over time.
Yes.
And your inner being knows what the world wants to hear. And your inner being knows where they are in their life experience. What we're talking about is the inspiration for the perfect, whatever it is always available to you. So what did you take away from this What was the primary message that you heard us just deliver? We'll tell you what we want it to be. You already did the work of writing the book by living your life so far.
Yes.
So you already wrote the book by your life so far. You already asked the questions that wrote the book. So the book is already there to be received. So is your work to figure out what to put in the book? Abraham's got this and this and this and this. What should chapter 8 be? Or is the book already written and what you want to do is just get into the receiving mode and receive the book? And what is the book that you want to write? The book that will meet people where they are and take them to the next vehicle. The other day we were talking to someone who was talking about career. And this person used the word vehicle. And that was when we began using the word vehicle in the way that we demonstrated to you here today. So we said to this person, because this person had a job and then had another job and was ready for another job. But the thing that they got from our vehicle discussion, you keep thinking that you should find a vehicle that will take you the whole ride. So you sort of think you've got to write the book that will take you the whole ride, or take the world the whole ride. Oh, just gonna write the book. It's gonna feel good as you write it. And those who are ready for it will benefit from it greatly. And everyone on the planet isn't ready for the book that you're ready to write. But everybody on the planet doesn't need to be ready for the book that you're ready to write. And your inner being knows the book that you're ready to write, and knows the people who are ready for the book that you're ready to write. That whole rendezvous will be orchestrated at an unseen level that you may trust. So when you get your head out of that game, your inner being knows what stocks will pay off. Your inner being knows where you are in relationship to that. Your inner being knows where the lottery ticket is. Your inner being knows everything that you think that you want to know. Your inner being knows when your best passage through traffic is. Your inner being knows when the flyer is going to come down the mountain, is going to try to occupy that space, and will help you not try to occupy the same space. All things are known, and things that Esther's vocabulary does not have the ability to articulate. You getting the picture? This is big stuff. This is big stuff. This is big knowing, and you may trust it. And most of all, and you're not going to get this just from our words, you are worthy. It's time for you to let what you will call these blessings in. You are worthy. So there.
This felt really good, and we should do it again. Thank you.
Be part of a #1 movie.
Y'all don't need me to say nothing, really. Let's laugh. Dad jokes.
Good morning, John. I'm back, and I'm officially a dad, which means that I can make a video that I've wanted to make for years, but did not feel qualified until this moment. This is 41 dad jokes in under 4 minutes. Now that I have a son, you might say that I have a dad bod, but I'd rather call it a father figure. I don't know if you know this, but I can cut through wood just by looking at it. Yeah, I didn't believe it at first either, but I saw it with my own eyes. You know what the loneliest cheese is? Provolone. Also, did you hear about the explosion at the cheese factory? Yeah, it was terrible. The only thing left was debris. I just found out my friend was dating a communist. He really should have noticed. There were so many red flags. To the man who stole my thesaurus, I have no words for how angry I am. You know, I've always hated elevators, which is why I've recently started taking steps to avoid them. Hey, how long is dinner gonna be? Oh, like this long? You know, I like to wear these leather shoes when I'm sneaking around at night, because they are literally made of hide. I cannot wait for my son to one day say to me, Dad, I think I have your sense of humor, so that I can say to him, you give that back! So why do scuba divers fall?
Yeah, we watched that one. Let's see a different one real quick.
You know, being a parent ain't easy. I got some dad jokes for you. It's Tell a Joke Day.
Yeah.
So if you got a good dad joke for us, give us a call, 877-44-WOODY. That's 877-44-WOODY. Let's get an example from Noah, who's already calling in. Hey, good morning, Noah.
Hey, Noah.
Noah,
hey,
are you
Noah.
there? Noah?
Hey, what's going on,
There
gentlemen?
he is.
Hey.
All right, so Noah, what's your dad joke?
What kind of shoes do chickens wear?
What kind of shoes, Greg, do chickens wear?
You know, I don't know. Well, they wear Reebok.
Getting, see? Getting.
Good. Yeah.
Seabass is already a fan. Thank you, Noah. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend. That's how it's done, guys.
I thought it was going to be Air Cox.
Take care, guys.
Air.
What does that rhyme with, Menace?
I don't know.
Airwalks?
See, Woody wrote the joke for you.
No, I was trying to think what that would rhyme with. That would make any sense.
I thought it'd be air cock.
Air cock.
All right.
I've got a good dad joke. Call us now, 877-44-WOODY.
I thought it'd be Yeezy Cox.
877-44-WOODY or... Oh, there you go, Greg.
Yeah, see, we got jokes.
Dude, we can ride it.
The Woody Show.
You know, being a parent ain't easy. It can really suck. But there's a new study out suggesting that the key to good parenting is humor. See? Dad jokes.
Okay.
Just, you know, playful, silly stuff, being able to laugh at crazy, stressful situations. And the research shows that parental humor could be the secret ingredient in fostering cognitive flexibility, relieving stress, and promoting creative problem solving and resilience in both parents and kids. So this is really good for everybody. This is very healthy what we're doing.
And it's just fun.
Everybody loves the Friday dad jokes. We got the phones open for you, 877-44-WOODY. You can send your joke on the text over to 22987, and we'll go right to the phones, and we're going to say hello to April. Good morning, April. How are you?
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're doing great. What's your dad joke?
Well, I said it's not really a family joke, but what's the difference between a lentil and a chickpea?
What's the difference between a lentil? Kidding. April's fun.
What does that mean?
Where do the Marines go to get their batteries?
Get their batteries?
Where do the Marines go to get their batteries? Where?
To the shores of AAA.
Oh, my God.
That's old school right there.
Very old school.
Yeah, all right, Matthew, thanks for the
Thanks,
call.
Matthew.
Appreciate you listening to The Woody Show.
Bye.
Have yourself a great day. Let's go to Jonathan. Hey, good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning.
Morning. All right, what's your dad joke?
Why don't skeletons fight each other?
Why don't skeletons fight each other? Why?
Because they don't got the guts.
Anaconda or skeletons.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
I'm getting
Kathy, good morning. How are you?
Kathy.
Good morning, Woody Show.
Good morning. All right, so what's your dad joke?
I told the doctor I had a problem with my left ear. He said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, I'm definite."
All right, Kathy, thank you for the call. Appreciate you listening to the Woody Show.
I'm definite.
So,
yeah, I'm definite.
somebody broke into my house today, you guys.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What happened?
They stole my limbo stick. I mean, it's like, how low can you go?
Kidding. Did I ever tell you I was friends with a vampire?
Really?
Yeah, but we're not friends anymore. He was a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kidding.
Did you hear about the cat that ate a lemon?
No.
Well, now it's a sourpuss.
I'm done spending an obscene amount of money on takeout every week. Done.
I'm getting back on track with Factor Fresh.
Menace, give us a good one.
Why don't big cats play poker in a safari?
Why don't big cats play poker in a safari? Why?
Too many cheetahs.
That might be with them. Hey.
Getting cheetah getting?
Cheetah getting.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to Stephanie. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning.
Morning. What's your dad joke?
Well, it's a dad joke, but the joy of it is it's also a teacher field trip joke, especially at like a science place.
Oh, bonus.
Okay, all right.
What you do is, and it's great when you have a couple of smarty pants teachers with you too, because they always try to answer it. You say, like, you wait till you're in like some kind of water thing, and you say, "Hey, does anybody know the difference between an alligator and a crocodile?" And everyone's like, "Oh, wow, I don't know." And then there's always a teacher. Well, very clearly they're blah, 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 blah. And then you say, well, when you see an alligator, you'll see him later. But if you see a crocodile, you'll see him in a while.
Okay, terrific.
All right, cool. Stephanie, thank you for the call. Appreciate you listening to the Woody Show. All right.
Sorry, that didn't start your weekend.
I mean, I laughed so hard at that, though.
Let's go to Dorian. Hey, good morning, Dorian.
Good question.
Good morning. What's your dad joke?
What do you get when you cross a penis with a potato?
What do you get when you cross a penis with a potato? What's that?
A dictator.
A dictator.
Getting.
All right, Dorian, thank you. Appreciate the call.
Yeah.
All right, here's some.
That was funny.
Jeez, what was that?
So you go on a field trip, and then when you're out.
Yeah, all right.
See, now some of
This
the
one
people-
says dogs can't operate an MRI machine.
Why?
But cats can. What did the chocolate bar say when asked what its pronouns are?
What?
Hershey.
Okay.
Why don't you pick a fight with a dinosaur?
Why?
You'll get Jurassic kicked.
Getting.
I was in bed with a woman recently, and she said to me, I want tonight to be magical. And it was. After I got off, I disappeared. 213. Let's see. Why did Humpty Dumpty have a great fall?
Why?
To make up for the lousy summer.
Getting.
Okay. I like that.
Seabass, what do you got?
You know that Hotel Rwanda is the only thing with a great score on Rotten Tomatoes, but awful reviews on Yelp.
Getting. I get it now.
All right.
All right, that was a thinker.
Yep.
I still don't get it.
understand.
That's
Yes.
Okay,
One more
really?
for Sammy. One for
So
Yeah.
Hotel Rwanda,
Yeah.
based on a true story, that's very, very
Okay,
key to
yeah,
know
yeah,
here,
yeah.
has a great score on Rotten Tomatoes, but awful reviews on Yelp.
Because it was a movie, see?
Yeah.
So Rotten
don't
Tomatoes
explain
great.
it. You get it now, Sammy?
Oh, I get it. I get
No.
it.
You know what? Just let her sit on that one.
Yeah.
Let us know when you come back.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Billy. Hey, good morning, Billy.
Good morning, guys.
Good menace.
Sammy, really?
But they wouldn't review on Yelp, right? If it's a movie?
Okay.
What's it called?
Exactly.
Is it okay because it's a bad hotel in the movie? Is that what's going on? So like the Yelp would be bad because no one would want to go there,
That's true.
Yes, but
even though it's a fictional place.
no, it's not. That's the thing. It's not a fictional place. See. What about now? Now are you getting?
Is it a true story?
Yes.
That's what I said like a minute ago or two. Based on a
Okay,
true-
terrific.
All right, let's go to Billy. Billy,
Yes, sir.
what's Christ? What's your
By the way,
dad joke?
That's a Norm Macdonald joke. That's fantastic.
Yeah, what's your dad joke, Billy?
Okay. All right. Why did the scarecrow get a raise?
Why did the scarecrow get a raise? Why?
It was outstanding in its field.
Oh, get it. All right,
Yes,
Billy,
sir.
thank you for the call. Let's go to Mason. Good morning, Mason.
Morning.
Morning.
So I
What's your-
got a play on words dad joke.
Okay.
So if you ever want to catch a polar bear, you cut a hole into the ice, you place a whole bunch of peas around it, and so when the polar bear comes to take a pee, you kick him right in the ice hole.
Getting. Yeah. See that?
Seabass, do
I
you have
follow
any
that one.
hotel jokes?
Yeah, you got like a good Motel 6 joke or something?
Oh, I wish I did.
Yeah.
I got okay.
Yeah.
And then there's a little. This I'll dumb it down for Sammy. A new study says that most people. Oh, she's like, what? What are you
Well, I
talking
feel like I needed to know the reference in order to get that joke.
No, you don't. Even still, you really didn't need that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. A new study says most people can identify a gay man by his face alone.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's because it's buried in another man's. Oh.
All right.
Sammy, another thinker for you.
See, because gay men.
I went out and bought a terrible thesaurus, and it's also really terrible.
I don't know that I get it.
Whoa.
Yes.
I'm feeling good about
Well,
myself.
break it
today.
down. Menace, today's your day. What does a thesaurus do, Sammy?
Well, it gives you words for other words.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
in the context of what Greg said.
Yeah.
I went out and bought a terrible new thesaurus, and it's also really terrible.
What did you discuss with the Holy Father in that final meeting?
See the most astonishing performances of the year in hands down the best picture.
Wow.
I feel like my brain's not working today.
What?
No, the excuse would be I haven't had my Red Bull yet.
Yeah.
Red Bull, man.
Hey, don't
I
drag
get
me
much
into this.
sleep, man.
Don't drag me into this. I got your joke right away.
I tell him you're a producer for like 25 or 27 radio stations.
Yeah.
You're tired.
What do you call an Asian man who's single?
What?
Lonely.
Yes, sir. Yeah, lonely. Lee.
What do you call a cow that's had an abortion?
A cow?
Yeah.
What?
Decaffeinated.
Yeah.
323. How do you turn soup into gold?
Oh, I would love to know.
Runs in jeans. Kidding. 724. What kind of lights were on Noah's Ark?
What?
Floodlights.
Yeah.
All right, another one off the text. Which military branch is the most patriotic, Greg?
What?
The Air Force. They're USAF.
I like that.
That's pretty good. You got that one, Sammy?
I did get that one.
Okay. Hey, Travis.
Yes.
What's your dad joke?
Why did the peanut go to the hospital?
Why did the peanut go to the hospital? Why?
Because he was assaulted.
Kidding. Let's go to Sue. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
We're doing great. All right, what's your dad joke?
Okay. Why did the chicken cross the road?
Why did the chicken cross the road? Why? Why?
Because he wanted to go to Hotel Rwanda.
Is there like no punchline there, Sue?
Is this intentionally?
That was a punchline. Come on, but
Oh, jeez.
Okay, now let's make Sammy. I'm not getting that one.
I think it was.
What?
Is it because? Is that right?
Oh, your phone broke up. We didn't hear. It was just okay.
I thought you were.
Sue.
She
Sue.
yelled so loud.
I thought that was strategy.
The audience and everybody here at the state. We didn't hear because the phone cut out. So like it was like we said why, and there was just nothing.
Right.
okay. Well, let me tell you another one then.
Okay, here we go. All right.
Redemption.
Okay. Boys have 3 knees.
Uh-huh.
Right knee, a left knee, and a wee knee.
All right, Sue, thank you for the call. Let's
That is
go
a wiener
to
joke.
Let's go to another thinker with Seabass.
Oh, okay. Remember the good old days where MILF stood for mentally ill ladies I'd like to F?
Yeah, I get it.
Kidding.
Yeah.
All right. So you get it, Sammy?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Sammy, why don't you give us one more?
What do you call a happy cowboy?
What?
A Jolly Rancher.
Nice and simple.
I don't get it.
You want another hotel one?
I'm not getting.
Here's another hotel one to take us out.
All right.
Guy checks into a hotel, comes back and starts yelling at the front desk clerk. The porn on your TV is disgusting. I need it disabled. The clerk says, I'm sorry, but we only offer regular porn.
Oh,
Kidding.
And there's your Friday dad jokes, everybody.
Getting.
Here, Menace, this one's up your alley.
Yeah.
A dyslexic walks into a bra.
Getting.
Get it.
What happened?
Let's go to Dorian. Hey, good morning, Dorian.
good question.
I need to hear one more. So
Good morning. What's your dad joke?
What do you get when you cross a penis with a potato?
Not that one.
Okay.
Why don't you pick a fight with a dinosaur?
Why?
You'll get your ass kicked.
Getting.
I was in bed with a woman recently, and she said to me, I want tonight to be magical. And it was. After I got off, I disappeared.
Yes, sir. Okay. I can't tell that one to
213.
my kids, though.
Let's see. Why did Humpty Dumpty have a great fall?
Why?
To make up for the lousy summer.
There you go. That's a good one. Last ones. Let's see what
It is hard to believe that this is my 7th year of pardoning a turkey. Time flies, even if turkeys don't.
That was good. That was good.
I thought it was pretty good.
You know, I don't understand why people want to get married. Almost all of my married friends are miserable. The other day I was chatting with a friend. She was complaining that I wish I hadn't married, you know. All the BS from my in-laws. My husband is lazy. My kid is a failure. I was like, what the heck, Mom? You know, I don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why people want
Just
to
in
get
case
married.
you missed
Almost
that.
all of my married friends are miserable. The other day I was chatting with a friend. She was complaining that I wish I hadn't married, you know. All the BS from my in-laws. My husband is lazy. My kid is a failure. I was like, what the heck, Mom? You know, I don't.
Name a business that might be.
Yeah, no, that was good. Get a couple more.
Be very busy on Valentine's Day.
Florist. He didn't hit it, did he? You gotta hit the buzzer.
What did he hit?
Name a business that might be very busy on Valentine's Day.
What did you just hit?
Florist.
Can I help you?
Calm down, man. I missed the last category. Did you win?
No, we didn't win, all right? And
Oh, that's a bummer.
can I help you?
Calm down, man.
Hold on, Allie. We got somebody walking by.
Hey, little girl.
What kind of dog is that?
X to XL American Bull.
You know they're banned in the UK, right?
Yeah, you should have that dog put down.
Snap at any time you need to get rid of it.
Yep.
I wish he would snap right now, but he won't because he's nice. Now leave me alone.
Hold on, Allie.
Define rich.
Well, look, rich is a state of mind more than anything else. If you feel you're rich and if you're happy and if you have a wonderful family, you're rich. And this doesn't just have to do with money.
Define it financially.
Forbes defines it as $1 million a year in passive income, whether you work or not.
Define rich.
Well, look, rich is a state of mind more than.
Hello everyone, this is Joe Kudla, founder and CEO of Viore, and today I'm going to walk you through some of the details of one of my favorite pants that...
I think something funny to say or nothing.
Apparently fucking big ones wasn't acceptable.
This is what happens when I don't read it.
Is that a confession?
One of the great jokes.
It's a brilliant joke.
I don't always tell dad jokes, but when I do, he laughs.
I'm nervous about this one.
I actually get it.
This better not be vulgar.
Let's roll. Rolling.
The average... Nope, don't.
Nice.
This is what happens when I don't read it. The average height of a dwarf is 3 feet.
Yeah.
Just a little gnome fact.
Oh,
that is a good joke.
It's one of your better ones.
Damn it.
What kind of doctor is Dr. Pepper? A physician. A phys.
No, I get it.
It's just not funny.
Okay, I'll see myself out.
Oh, okay, definitely can't say that one.
Pretty interested to know what that was.
You'll hear it later. What do you call a pig practicing karate?
I have no idea.
A pork chop.
Pork chop.
What is the difference between a dirty bus stop and a lobster with breast implants?
Plenty.
One's a crusty bus station and the other one's a busty crusty.
My favourite joke.
Love that.
Parallel lines have so much in common. It's a shame they'll never meet.
Good though, for the lines. doing what they're meant to be doing. What do you call a fake noodle? An imposter.
Yeah, good. All mine are so rogue, I have to step out.
Okay. Oh,
I'd probably never step back in.
Really?
Aww. What do you call a fish wearing a bow tie?
I don't know.
Sophisticated.
Nice. That's good. I failed a fire safety course at work recently. They asked me what steps I would take in case of an explosion. Apparently fucking big ones wasn't acceptable.
Okay, now
that's one of the great jokes.
It's a brilliant joke.
I got rejected on my first blind date, and I'm not really sure why. He asked if I had pets, and I said I had a goldfish. Hobbies? I said, yep, he likes swimming. I get it.
This is a real simple one. What's brown and rhymes with Snoop? Dr. Dre.
It's a classic. Why can't a nose be 12 inches long?
Don't know.
Because it'd be a foot.
Okay. Our doorbell rang the other day, and Eloise said, "There's a salesman here with a mustache." So I yelled back, "Tell him I've already got one."
Yeah.
What happened when a blue ship and a red ship collided at sea?
I don't know.
Their crews were marooned.
Oh, good.
They were also perplexed. Collision was very violent.
Wow.
That was funny.
Holy. Okay. I feel like I should swap now, baby.
When you're ready.
Okay. I was recently offered a job at Lego, which was cool. My job was to attach the head, arms, and legs to the torso. I was told that the pay wasn't great, but it was character building.
What sits at the bottom of the ocean twitching? A nervous wreck.
Did you know that they are... True story, actually. I read this on the news. Did you know that they're creating a new NFL team?
No.
To help educate students about male reproductive organs?
No, I didn't know that.
No, they're the phallus cowboys.
Phallus cow.
He's definitely made that up himself.
I wrote that myself.
I thought so.
What's the best gift you can give someone? A broken drum set. Can't beat it.
Yeah.
Is it wrong that I start drinking as soon as the kids are at school? Does that make me a bad teacher?
Yes.
It would, yeah.
I was actually a teacher too, but I never did that.
Is that a confession? Or is that just... just a question?
Did teach it I've got one about confession though, if you want that as well.
Oh no.
Give it to me.
Okay. What do priests and Christmas trees have in common?
What?
The balls are purely decorative.
What?
The balls are purely decorative.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to sub it out.
Okay.
Very funny.
Is it Wes? Yeah.
Is it Wes? Yes, that is Wes.
Hi, I'm Eloise. Nice to meet you.
You should have met before. Please.
Please. What did the brass say to the hat? You go ahead, I'll lift these two.
Oh.
Get it?
Descriptive, yeah.
I'll lift these two. Please. What did the brass say to the hat? You go ahead, I'll lift these two. Get it?
Descriptive, yeah. Very descriptive.
I can explain it if you want, like I do every other time.
Yeah. I got an A in origami when I turned my paper into my teacher.
Oh, I actually get it.
Yeah, when I turned my paper into my
That's good,
teacher.
thanks.
Yes,
What do you
sir.
call a short-sighted dinosaur? A Dithythinkosaurus.
You had to practice that in your head.
Yes, because I had to make sure I said the do you think he saw us? Get it? Because he can't see.
Yeah, no, I get it. What else would you possibly...
I don't know.
Where's... I'm nervous about this one.
Okay.
What do glory holes and a police hotline have in common?
I don't know.
Anonymous tips.
Lovely.
I'm going to stop.
That's quite funny.
Which side of the dog has more hair?
I don't know.
The outside.
If a child refuses a nap, are they resisting arrest?
Right, they are.
Yes,
They are. They actually are.
So jolly.
They are.
You triggered me at resisting a nap.
Yeah, sorry, we did that. Just give you a little shiver down the spine.
I don't always tell dad jokes, but when I do, he laughs.
That's good. My dad used to work at a bank, and some lady said, "Hey, can you check my balance?" So he pushed her, and he said, "Oh, not good."
Hello?
Yeah.
Trying to think of something funny to say, I got nothing. They say outside of a dog, a book is man's best friend.
Yeah.
Inside of a dog, it's too dark to read.
Good.
Oh, I've got another way of thinking then.
Yeah, go on.
What do you call a tired bull?
I don't know.
Bulldozer.
Yes. Sleepy.
Sleepy.
I told my son I'm named after Thomas Jefferson.
Communication is an essential part of my job. That's why I use Grammarly, an AI partner trusted by millions of professionals.
He says, but Mom, your name's Brian. I said, yeah, but I was named after Thomas Jefferson.
Okay, there's so much going on in that family. Yeah. What was the mum's name?
His mum's name Brian. That's what I was saying.
Why is Eloise's name Brian?
I had to change the name.
You could have just said your name's Eloise, and you were also named after Thomas Jefferson.
Brian's more interesting.
As a mum.
Well, Matt, you obviously know what the Big Apple is. Do you know what Minneapolis is? Nearly had the delivery. Minneapolis. Do you know Minneapolis?
Wait, is it a question? Oh, no, I don't know.
You know what the Big
no.
Do you know what the Minneapolis
Oh, sorry, I've
also
ruined,
a state?
I've ruined your joke.
No, you're fine.
I can't help it. I tried to understand it.
Maybe screwed it up slightly.
Yeah, I said Minneapolis is, but it should have just been.
Yeah. Minneapolis is. Conjunctivitis.com. Now that's a sight for sore eyes.
The way he delivers it.
He
can literally say any joke.
It's so bad, but it's just like the
Thank you for your feedback.
That felt loaded. Matt, how do you make one disappear? You add a G and it's gone.
I'm sorry, I'm trying so hard to understand that, dude.
What? What do you mean? How do you spell one?
I was like, 1G. I added it at the end. I'm sorry. Right, a man went to visit his dad in hospital.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor said, I'm sorry, sir. Your dad's been pronounced dead. He said, what? I've been saying it wrong this whole time?
What do you call it when a snowman has a tantrum? A meltdown. Oh, you got that one. Good.
Oh. I rescind my laughter.
That one was good.
Well, why are snails so slow?
Why?
Because they have a house on their back.
That's fair. That would make them slow.
It's a Rochelle.
That came out of nowhere.
If you think swimming with dolphins is expensive, you should try swimming with sharks. Cost me an arm and a leg.
Yeah, that's good. I've got 9 tennis rackets. No more. I'm an idiot.
No, you were right.
All right, no.
Start again.
No, I still don't know what
I've got 9 rackets.
Mm-hmm.
No more. 10 is too many.
Yeah.
Nice.
Would have been good.
Not really.
Why do trees seem suspicious on a sunny day? Dunno, they're just a bit shady. All right, can I go away now?
Good job.
Thank you.
Go the girls. Go the girls.
Did you hear about the new music group, Cellophane? They mostly rap.
I like it.
Check it out.
Check it out. That was funny.
A scarecrow.
Where? Good.
No, you.
No, scarecrow. Go.
Yeah. So he says, this job isn't for everyone, but hey, it's in my genes.
It would be. It would be.
Standing in
That's great. That's the award. Yeah.
And he was outstanding in his field.
What's the difference between a snowman and a snowwoman? Snowballs.
Yeah.
What do the dogs say to the sandpaper?
Rough. How does the moon cut his hair? Eclipse it.
I actually got a haircut the other day.
Did you clip it?
No, I actually got all of them cut.
Eclipse it. How does the moon cut his hair?
No, I actually got it.
Heard you say that so much.
How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? 10 tickles.
It does. I heard that a couple.
Yeah.
I got one. You're gonna have to just go with me. It's a bit long.
All right.
I might get it wrong, but I'm gonna back it in. Okay. I was driving down the road, and this chicken just flies past. Not just any chicken. It was a 3-legged chicken. Flies past us. Anyway, it turned left and went down this long dirt road. And I thought, I'm gonna follow it. This chicken is just incredible. Hey, pulled in and I said, there was a farmer there, and I said, mate, seen this 3-legged chicken? He says, yeah. We started breeding them because I love the drumstick, my wife loves the drumstick, and my son loves the drumstick. I said, oh, that's amazing. How does it taste? He says, I don't know, we can't catch it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really good.
Was it worth the effort to tell it?
No, it's so worth it. So worth it.
Oh, did you hear Donald Trump? Donald Trump. Did you hear Donald Trump? Did you hear Donald Trump is banning shredded cheese?
I didn't.
Wants to make America great again.
No, it was a blast with the palm. Definitely heard you tell that before.
I didn't get that last one. Or the chicken. Okay. All right, that was pretty good. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here for the day on some motivation. And I'm going to see y'all next week. Let me see what we got now.
Everything at Roger starts and ends on Slack. I love huddles because the communication.
Thoughts you return to the source depends on how we see the world. Is everything connected so that events create resonances like ripples across a net? Or do things merely co-occur and we give meaning to these co-occurrences based on our belief system? Lao Tzu's answer, it's all in how you think. When meditation is mastered, the mind is unwavering like the flame of a lamp in a windless place. In the still mind, in the depths of meditation, the self reveals itself. Beholding the self by means of the self, an aspirant knows the joy and peace of complete fulfillment. Having attained that abiding joy beyond the senses, revealed in the stilled mind, he never swerves from the eternal truth. You have the right to work, but for the work's sake only. You have no rights to the fruits of work. Desire for the fruits of work must never be your motive in working. Never give way to laziness either. Perform every action with your heart fixed on the Supreme Lord. Renounce attachment to the fruits. Be even-tempered in success and failure, for it is this evenness of temper which is meant by yoga. Work done with anxiety about results is far inferior to the work done without such anxiety, in the calm of self-surrender. Seek refuge in the knowledge of Brahma. They who work selfishly for results are miserable. In this world, 3 gates lead to hell. The gates of passion, anger, and greed. Released from these 3 qualities, one can succeed in attaining salvation and reaching the highest goal. You are what you believe in. You become that which you believe you can become. Man is made by his belief. As he believes, so he is. Seek refuge in the attitude of detachment, and you will amass the wealth of spiritual awareness. The one who is motivated only by desire for the fruits of their action and anxious about the results is miserable indeed. When a man dwells on the pleasure of sense, attraction for them arises in him. From attraction arises desire, the lust of possession, and this leads to passion, to anger. From passion comes confusion of the mind, then loss of remembrance, the forgetting of duty. From this loss comes the ruin of reason, and the ruin of reason leads man to destruction. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the truths and realities of your existence, the bliss of growth, the glory of action, and the splendor of beauty. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today well lived makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well therefore to this day. Such is the salvation of the dawn. The soul who meditates on the self is content to serve the self and rests satisfied within the self. There remains nothing more for him to accomplish. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus is untouched by water. One who has control over the mind is tranquil in heat and cold, in pain and pleasure, and in honor and dishonor, and is ever steadfast with the Supreme Self. One should strive to employ oneself to uplift oneself. One should never dishonor oneself. The self is one's friend, as well as one's enemy. It is both near and far, both within and without every creature. It moves and is unmoving. In its subtlety, it is beyond comprehension. It is invisible, yet appears divided in separate creatures. Know it to be the Creator, the Preserver, and the Destroyer. Dwelling in every heart, it is beyond darkness. It is called the light of the lights, the object and goal of knowledge, and knowledge itself.
Yeah, GoDaddy Arrow is so easy. AI built me a website in minutes. No hassle, no passive-aggressive opinions, no I'm a website building genius. It's a dream. Unlike working with this nightmare, this is really gonna help my business and probably save a friendship.
It is better to strive in one's own Dharma than to succeed in the Dharma of another. Nothing is ever lost in following one's own Dharma, but competition in another's Dharma breeds fear and insecurity. For him who has no concentration, there is no tranquility. Death is as sure for that which is born, as birth is for that which is dead. Therefore grieve not for what is inevitable. Death is as sure for that which is born, as birth is for that which is dead. Therefore grieve not for what is inevitable. Delusion arises from anger. The mind is bewildered by delusion. Reasoning is destroyed when the mind is bewildered. One falls down when reasoning is destroyed. Endurance is one of the most difficult disciplines, but it is to the one who endures that the final victory comes. Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot, at least we learnt a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So let us be thankful. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. It is founded on our thoughts and made up of our thoughts. If a man speaks or acts with an evil thought, suffering follows him, as the wheel follows the hoof of the beast that draws the wagon. If a man speaks or acts with a good thought, happiness follows him like a shadow that never leaves. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. One moment can change a day, one day can change a life, and one life can change the world. Be where you are, otherwise you will miss your life. Kindness should be the natural way of life, not the exception. It is better to travel well than to arrive. To live a pure, unselfish life, one must count nothing as one's own in the midst of abundance. Whatever a monk keeps pursuing with his thinking and pondering, that becomes the inclination of his awareness. A man is not called wise because he talks and talks again. But if he is peaceful, loving, and fearless, then he is in truth called wise. You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger. Just as the great ocean has one taste, the taste of salt, so also this teaching and discipline has one taste, the taste of liberation. The root of suffering is attachment. Your work is to discover your world, and then, with all your heart, give yourself to it. There is no fire like passion. There is no shark like hatred. There is no snare like folly. There is no torrent like greed. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Happiness will never come to those who fail to appreciate what they already have. What you are basically deep, deep down, far, far in, is simply the fabric and structure of existence itself. I have realized that the past and the future are real illusions, that they exist in the present, which is what there is, and all there is. You are a function of what the whole universe is doing, in the same way that a wave is a function of what the whole ocean is doing. Tomorrow and plans for tomorrow can have no significance at all unless you are in full contact with the reality of the present, since it is in the present and only in the present that you live. There is no other reality than present reality, so that even if one were to live for endless ages, to live for the future would be to miss the point everlastingly.
H&R Block makes filing your taxes really convenient. File in person at your local office, virtually from the comfort of your home, or just drop off your docs and we'll get it.
The meaning of life is just to be alive. It is so plain and so obvious and so simple, and yet everybody rushes around in a great panic, as if it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves. When you get free from certain fixed conceptions of the way the world is, you find it is far more subtle and far more miraculous than you thought it was. You are an aperture through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself. The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. A scholar tries to learn something every day. A student of Buddhism tries to unlearn something every day. I'll tell you what the hermits realize. If you go off into a far, far forest and get very quiet, you'll come to understand that you're connected with everything. If then my awareness of the past and future makes me less aware of the present, I must begin to wonder whether I am actually living in the real world. Meditation is the discovery that the point of life is always arrived at in the immediate moment. The only Zen you'll find on the mountaintop is the Zen you bring up there with you. Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. Every intelligent individual wants to know what makes him tick, and yet is at once fascinated and frustrated by the fact that oneself is the most difficult of all things to know. Problems that remain persistently insoluble should always be suspected as questions asked in the wrong way. One is a great deal less anxious if one feels perfectly free to be anxious, and the same may be said of guilt. If you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you'll spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living. That is to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. When we attempt to exercise power or control over someone else, we cannot avoid giving that person the very same power or control over us. Things are as they are. Looking out into the universe at night, we make no comparisons between right and wrong stars, nor between well and badly arranged constellations. Philosophy is a man's expression of curiosity about everything, and his attempt to make sense of the world, primarily through his intellect. Zen does not confuse spirituality while thinking about God while one is peeling potatoes. Zen spirituality is just to peel the potatoes. If we cling to belief in God, we cannot likewise have faith, since faith is not clinging, but letting go. What we have forgotten is that thoughts and words are conventions, and that it is fatal to take conventions too seriously. A convention is a social convenience, as for example money. But it is absurd to take money too seriously, to confuse it with real wealth. In somewhat the same way, thoughts, ideas, and words are coins for real things. What we have forgotten is that thoughts and words are conventions, and that it is fatal to take conventions too seriously. A convention is a social convenience, as for example money. But it is absurd to take money too seriously, to confuse it with real wealth. In somewhat the same way, thoughts, ideas, and words are coins for real things.
Be the most authentic version of yourself. Just saying is me, it stands for most essential.
Other people teach us who we are. Their attitudes to us are the mirror in which we learn to see ourselves. But the mirror is distorted. We are perhaps rather dimly aware of the immense power of our social environment. It's like you took a bottle of ink and threw it at the wall. Smash! And all that ink spread. And in the middle it is dense, isn't it? And as it gets out to the edge, the little droplets get finer and finer, and make more complicated patterns, see? So in the same way, there was a big bang at the beginning of things, and it spread. And you and I, sitting here in this room as complicated human beings, are way, way out on the fringe of that bang. We are the complicated little patterns at the end of it. Very interesting. But so we define ourselves as being only that. If you think that you are only inside your skin, you define yourself as one very complicated little curlicue, way out on the edge of that explosion, way out in space, and way out in time. Billions of years ago, you were a big bang, but now you're a complicated human being. And then we cut ourselves off, and don't feel that we're still the big bang. But you are. Depending on how you define yourself, you actually are, if this is the way things started, if there was a Big Bang in the beginning. You're not something that's a result of the Big Bang. You're not something that is a sort of puppet on the end of the process. You are still the process. You are the Big Bang. The original force of the universe coming on as whoever you are. When I meet you, I see not just what you define yourself as, Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so. I see every one of you as the primordial energy of the universe, coming on at me in this particular way. I know I'm that too, but we've learned to define ourselves as separate from it. Just as a snake sheds its skin, we must shed our past over and over again. What you are is what you have been. What you will be is what you do now. Even as a solid rock is unshaken by the wind, so are the wise unshaken by praise or blame. Thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. We are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. When the mind is pure, joy follows like a shadow that never leaves.
See y'all later.
Every morning we are born again.
Our
What
body
we do
and the relation
today-
to the body and the wings. Here it is in frogs. Phi is found throughout the body in relation to the head, to the arms, to the fingers, and so on. Well, what about fish? You'd think they wouldn't be found in fish. Well, here's 3 kinds of fish. Once again, the ratios are consistent. It doesn't just apply to these creatures, though. Regardless of what mammal, insect, avian, plant, or living creature of any kind, you will find this ratio one way or another. There's a reason for this, but we'll get to that in a moment. Let me show you the importance we used to place on this golden ratio. In ancient times, we built many structures based on phi because we understood divine proportion. This is the pagoda of Yakushiji Temple in Japan. It's built with these same mathematics, from the doorway to the ball on top of the temple. It is a structural embodiment of the proportions that all life holds. The Parthenon in Greece also has the exact same mathematical structure, but even more. I recommend watching Nova's Secrets of the Parthenon if you wish to learn more about this, because the stuff that they find is really cool. The Great Pyramid in Giza also has these proportions. They're incredibly precise, perfect in every way. You'd think that by building these structures using the logical and mathematical proportions so carefully that they would hinder the creativity behind these buildings, but they really don't. In fact, the left brain understanding all of this can even enhance creativity if used correctly. It makes me wonder about all of the world-famous buildings of the modern world. Could phi be a large factor in what makes them stand out? Let's move on to our next sequence, which is called Fibonacci. Now, the Fibonacci sequence is life's way of creating the golden mean. Allow me to explain. This sequence is continually made from adding the previous number to the current. 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 1 is 3, 3 and 2 is 5, 5 and 3 is 8. You can see how it continues. Now, what most people don't know about Fibonacci is that it actually continually strives closer and closer to the phi ratio. By dividing the current number into the last, you can see this happening. 1 into 1 is 1. Well, that's not close at all. 2 into 1 is 2. This time it's over phi, but closer. 3 into 2 is 1.5, which is under, but closer still. 5 into 3 is 1.666. This time it's over, but even closer.